Alright guys, it's Jerningham here. What my suspicions are is most of the US troops are leaving Iraq because of what they've done with the general. They blew up the general in Iran. Donald Trump blew up the general there. And the government of Iraq want the US troops to get out of there. Some of the US troops will stay in Iraq and most of them, in the coming weeks, will get out of Iraq. But my suspicions are, where are these US troops going to go? Are they going to go back home? Are they going to go to another country? The number's going to be boosted up in Iran for these US troops because there was something about Iran. The US troops were going there 2 days ago, and now some of the troops are withdrawing out of Iraq. I mean, they're keeping some of the British soldiers in Iraq, but most of them are moving out, the USA people, in a couple of weeks and days, and some will stay in Iraq. I don't know if the war's still going on in Iraq. I think it is. Unless the people in the government are annoyed in Iraq. That's why they're kicking some of the USA out. I reckon some of them USA people will go to Iran and help the people there. Because they say there was going to be a war with the USA and Iran. I don't know if that's still a thing or what's going to be going on. This is what I'm thinking. Could be on the news as well. I mean, in case things escalate, they need more soldiers in Iran. US soldiers in Iran, that's what I'm thinking here. Some people may think I've got it wrong, but I haven't. That's what I'm guessing anyway. There's a lot of things on the news. Germany, France and the UK preparing, as they said on the news, but I was watching on YouTube on the PS4. Not everybody follows the news and the war on the TV, fair enough. But let's have a look here. There's a lot of things going on at the minute. I'm just watching the news about something about the UK and other things, and it says, okay, let's have a look. Here it says, here as you can see, Sky News, understanding the UK has reduced staff and embezzlements in Iraq. Iraqi immunion level after killing the Iranian general. And a lot of it means British soldiers are coming out as well, but I don't know. US forces will withdraw from Iraq following the killings of Baghdad of Marjorie general. Some old man. That's all it's saying at the moment. Produced heavy being changed in Los Angeles or something. There's a lot of terrible things going on in the world at the moment, especially with Brexit in the UK, this American thing. Nobody knows what's going to be happening. There's assaults going on in the UK, stabbings, killings and shootings that happens everywhere across the world, some places worse than others. Understanding the UK reduces, it's saying the same thing over and over again on the news channel. Talk about bushfires. Some of the animals have died in Australia, which is very sad. So, and what else can I talk about? I just thought I'd just mention this theory that I'm having. Because, let's see here. I'll type it in the PlayStation. Iran. See here. Iran. I'm just checking out Iran on PS4. Right, so a lot of people are probably annoyed about it. I saw a lot of pictures of Donald Trump's face in Iran on the pictures because they're very annoyed. They've lost one of their generals, so they're bound to be annoyed. And fallout to deadly America. Okay. Let's see. Alright, so we're going to watch this, I think.
Killed Iran's top military commander.
Millions of people taking to the streets of Iran to pay their respects to General Soleimani. And take a look, an ominous sign, this red religious flag raised over a mosque in Iran, a symbolic call to arms.
That is a vow of vengeance. As President Trump touched down in Washington overnight, the fallout is spreading. Iran has announced they will no longer honor the 2015 nuclear agreement. They're going to ramp up nuclear production. The Iraqi parliament voted to push U.S. troops out of that country. And President Trump is pushing back with threats of economic sanctions against Iraq and possible war crimes against Iran. All this is a terror group loyal to Al-Qaeda killed 3 Americans on a military base in Kenya.
So much. Our team is spread out from Washington to Iran. Martha Raddatz is there starting us off with the latest. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, Robin. I have been in the midst of anti-American protests in Iran before, but nothing like this. A powerful combination of grief and anger with shouts of death to America echoing through the streets around us. This morning, mourners filling the streets of Iran's capital, Tehran, for the funeral of General Soleimani, killed by that U.S. drone strike last week. Aerial images capturing the sea of Iranians packing the streets to pay tribute.
Yep, there's a lot of people that are mad that.
Revered by many here.
Trump made a big mistake. He killed our hero.
Soleimani's image everywhere. The impact of his death profound. The crowds are massive and emotional. There are many tears here, many signs with Soleimani's picture on them, but the message is also very clear.
Escalates. Iraq escalates.
As we made our way through the streets of Tehran, people surrounding us, shouting death to America.
We will have very hard revenge of Mr. Trump.
We will have.
Inside the funeral service, the emotion just as powerful. The supreme leader of Iran weeping and praying over a coffin draped in the Iraqi flag. This is the largest funeral in Iran since the death of the Ayatollah Khomeini in 1989.
So they're burning the American flag there, as you can see. They're very upset.
Members of the Iranian parliament also chanting death to America. And a red flag symbolizing a declaration of war raised above an Iranian mosque on Saturday. Soleimani's replacement as head of the Quds Force calling for revenge. The leader of Iranian-backed Hezbollah saying American soldiers and officers will be going home in coffins. And Soleimani's own daughter making a televised plea with Hezbollah to take revenge for the blood of her father. This morning, the Iranian government announcing they're suspending commitments to the 2015 nuclear deal, abandoning limits on enriching uranium and stockpiling nuclear fuel. This as Iraq has now voted to expel all American troops and submitting a complaint against the U.S. for violation of sovereignty to the United Nations.
Wow.
Just 6 months ago when we were here, some people were critical of their leaders because of the effect of American
Donald Trump
sanctions.
didn't have done what he's done,
Today,
this wouldn't have happened.
Now at least, they are united against America. Robin?
And Martha, as you know, we're already sending an additional 4,500 troops to the region. You kind of alluded to it earlier when you started your piece and saying you've never had this sense being there in Iran before like this. What's going on the ground?
Well, exactly. I don't think people here want an all-out war, but they do want revenge for the death of Soleimani.
So there's them troops that were going on the plane the other day, Americans.
Robin?
Okay, Martha, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
Well, nobody really knows what's going to be happening, but we can tell by the signs and what's going to be going on. They've made a mistake and they've got to live with it, and we have to live with it as well. At their mistakes and their actions. In life, there's always consequences of your reactions, what you do to people. I mean, there was a protest in New York about it as well, about no killing in Iran, but I'll show that. This is New York's protest. No war, Iran. Troops on Iran. New York. It's a lot of mad people, guys, and people can understand why they're annoyed. People have lost a father.
The way to end these wars all around the world is through popular mobilization. We need thousands of people out into the streets to oppose the wars and let the U.S. government know that even though they say that they're doing this in our name, it's not in our name, and we don't support it.
See, nobody wants war, but sometimes you get pushed into war. Like most of these Americans get drafted into war. The British people may have to go to war, or the Russians and the Germans and the French, you know, kick off. Talking about the Middle East, we say no more.
The strike going in the assassination, really, of Major General Qasem Soleimani was designed to box in Iran to try to create more of a war danger, a drastic escalation that could spill over into many countries after the wake of 25 years following the 2003 invasion that's been so destructive, certainly in the Middle East, but also for many people here in the United States.
Yep, that is pretty true. We say no more wars, save our planet. It's a bit too late now, the damage is one done. Can't go back and undo what's been already done. No one can move on from it, they're going to have to deal with it. Saying join us or something. No peace. Yep, there's a lot of mad people on that. So there's one of the UK as well. One I think. Protest UK Iran. I'm talking to the computer so I can find what I'm looking for. So this is like hundreds of protests against the fear of war, UK. Well, they're marching about Iran, but this is in the UK. Some people may say this is not in UK, which it is, because I can tell by the police clothes and uniforms.
We've been here before.
This guy's from the Labour Party.
17 years ago. And if there's one lesson that came from those events, is that violence begets violence. And it was acts like this that led us to the catastrophic war in Iraq that cost, well, estimates between 500,000 and 1 million lives. And it is so easily to happen as a result of a foreign policy of aggressive imperialism that the US now has resorted to yet again under Donald Trump. We will not tolerate us being dragged yet again into this type of aggressive military action which puts us all at risk.
Country comes rising following the deaths of General. That was a very short video. I thought it was going to go on for longer, but there we go. As one would say to me, there we are. UK holds. This is the other part of the protest of the UK. Active holds no war with Iran, really after General, whatever his name is. I'm forgetting his bloody name about this. Anyway, let's put it on. I just thought it'd be an interesting video to do to show people. Youth Against War works and
it's not good enough for the UK government just to appeal for a de-escalation. What we expect the UK government to do is to come out in total and outright condemnation of this act of violence.
Any war in Iran.
We totally condemn this act. That we will do all that we can. Yes, as Lindsay has said, Johnson may have a majority in Parliament, but we'll do all that we can. Both, yes, in Parliament as Labour opposition, but also on the streets in demonstrations and actions that we will need to take to ensure that we demonstrate that we are totally opposed to this act of aggression, this escalation towards war.
No war with Iran, endless war. So this is the UK, guys. No war with Iran. Down with. Warning. Donald Trump's picture face. There's Downing Street, whatever you want to call it. Well, it goes to show, doesn't it? I don't want to sound like I'm being rude or horrible, but what could one say? There's more kicking off in America with it as well. Let's play the video. There's my headphones over there.
Escalating tensions outside the U.S. consulate in Toronto. Dozens clash over the American airstrike that killed an Iranian general. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Harkisel, and that's where we start tonight. Protesters gathered downtown for a pro-peace rally, but as Brittany Rosen reports, there continues to be a divide among Iranian Canadians.
They came out to protest war and stop the escalation of violence between the U.S. and Iran.
I think people are scared. People have been scared for years.
Iranian-born Farida knows what it's like to live in the middle of a war.
I hope there would be no war, but somebody has to answer the U.S. why you come all the way and killing the high commander of another countries in their own country.
Protesters from all walks of life are here today. They're hoping to send a powerful message to U.S. President Donald Trump to not support another war. But in a surprise moment, a protest for peace on the streets of Toronto got hostile. Frustration was palpable, with protesters turning on each other, angry at those who would turn Iran's top general into a martyr.
Then he's killing the thousands of people, Iranian people, slaughtering on the streets. Why they're not coming to demonstrate on that at that time?
And angry at the government in Iran.
This regime must be eliminated.
A heightened police presence on the streets in Canada, just one indication of escalating tensions across the globe.
The division is very clear. It's very easy to be against war, but we have to see what we are protecting.
No more
In addition
war.
to calling on the Trump administration to not support acts of war, they are hoping the Canadian government will also do the same.
I'm calling on them to condemn these attacks by Trump and to de-escalate the situation.
All this while the world waits for Iran
You
to
can't
make
de-escalate
good
the situation.
on its vow to
What's already been
retaliate
done.
for the killing.
What's been done, you can't change the damage.
Brittany Rosen, Global News,
It's not a video
Toronto.
game that you can just respawn and start again.
Meanwhile, in Iraq, thousands of mourners took part in a funeral for those killed in the airstrike. Videos show the arrival of draped coffins, including one carrying Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. Soleimani, the head of Iran's elite Quds force and mastermind of its regional security strategy, was the main target of the attack carried out near Baghdad's international airport. U.S. President Donald Trump says he ordered the killing of Soleimani to stop a war, claiming that the general posed a threat to the American people.
They reckon they're going to stop the war. There's always going to be a war, which is kind of sad, but they're not going to just stop it overnight, are they? That's what I'd say about it. Yep. Right.
Begin with large protests here in the Bay Area.
Right. I think I've done with this video, guys. I hope you've all enjoyed it. And please like, comment, subscribe, share these videos with your friends, and I shall catch you all in the next one. Peace. See you next one, guys. And don't forget to hit that like notification as well, and hit the like notification bar. Makes any sense. Peace.